What's up, y'all? This is Ron Horman and Catherine Maloney with Laugh Through Podcast. And life happens, you gotta laugh through it. What's going on?
Just living the dream, you know? Just, what about you?
I'm good. I'm happy. I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
We laughed through some things last time, and, you know, that's what it's about.
Yeah. I ate something, so I'm hoping this entire episode isn't about like all the food that I like.
Okay, well, hey, if it is, you can do that, but hey, that's cool.
Do you ever like go online? Like if someone says, hey, we're going to go to this restaurant, do you ever go online ahead of time and look at the menu and kind of get an idea of what you're going to order?
No.
You don't do that?
Never.
Would it shock you to tell you that like I'm up at 2:00 in the morning, like surfing the internet for different restaurants and like looking at what their like weekday specials are and like what appetizers to dessert I would order if I went to that place?
Weirdo.
Right?
Yeah. No, that's too much time, too much effort.
It's like traveling.
And see, and me, when I eat, I'm like in a box. I don't eat a whole bunch of new and weird stuff. I just don't.
So you don't branch out?
No, I'm very immature with food.
What's the last thing that you took a chance on that surprised you?
That surprised me? Probably sushi.
Okay. And how long ago was this?
Probably about a year ago or so.
All right, late in life sushi.
Yeah, and it was cooked.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't.
You cannot jump in.
Yeah.
Like into the raw end of the pool of the sushi experience without anything. So did you go California roll?
I think it was something that Angela had me try. I think it was spicy tuna or something.
Okay.
Maybe.
Those are tasty.
It was on like some cracker thing or whatever. And yeah, I mean, it was all right.
All right. Do you like fried shrimp?
Yes.
I would recommend if you're ever like in a situation where it's like you need to eat sushi, get the Mexican roll. It's just rice, fried shrimp, avocado, and it has a little bit of like spicy mayo on it. So it's just a little bit of drizzle of like a sauce. It is like, people usually go California roll, which is a crab and cucumber with white rice. So it's like really, like it's the chicken nugget of sushi, but I recommend going the Mexican roll. It's on every menu, and it's usually like the cheapest roll. So it's not like you're spending like $20 and taking a chance. And it's just shrimp and rice.
Okay. All right. Well,
all right.
I'm very concerned that you know exactly what's in all the sushi rolls.
I know what's in everything.
You staying up all night researching sushi.
I'm a huge watcher of cooking competitions.
I like those though. I do.
So I learn a lot. Like when something goes wrong, when something's undercooked, overcooked, like all the different ways that they, you know, like MacGyver it back to life and then put it in front of someone. And I feel like when I'm cooking, I'm like, oh no, I only have 30 minutes. Like I'll put myself under this like weird pressure.
So when you cook, do you cook, so say you're cooking breakfast.
Yeah.
You making pancakes, eggs, bacon, in what order do you cook them?
So you, like the finish line, right? And then you back it out. So like I usually make breakfast potatoes from scratch. And that's the first thing I start cooking. And that's like 2 hours before we're going to sit down to eat. I start with the potatoes. So then I do I boil them, I cut them up, I season them, I get them in the pan, I get them going. Then I'll do the biscuits and gravy from scratch. And then I'll start that because that can simmer in the background. Then I'll preheat the oven because I got the biscuits going. And then I know bacon will 400 degrees for maybe like 20 minutes if you like it crispy. So it's just a matter of just backing out the time. And then you just know, all right. Because my daughter does not like when things are left out and other items have to catch up. She's like, why is that rice cold?
So, yeah,
so I got to make sure I do it like a short order cook.
Like I don't eat cold. I don't like cold food, but like I can tell if somebody is a good cook or not. Like if they making breakfast and you see them cooking the eggs first.
Oh,
and it's like
that's just gonna sit there.
This is just to be horrible. And so I pay attention to stuff like that.
Oh, I do too.
When you wash your dishes, how do you wash them? In what order?
What do you mean?
When you wash the dishes.
Like the big stuff. I do the big stuff first.
See?
You're doing utensils?
So, all right. My dad taught me you wash the glasses first,
Okay.
then the utensils, then the plates, then the pots.
That seems so backwards to me. I mean,
Because
unless if you're clearing the table, think about it. The first thing you grab is usually like the glasses because you don't want that all knocked around when you're grabbing the rest of the stuff. Then you'll grab like the utensils, put them on the plate. So I guess if you're washing it as you're clearing it, like you work at a restaurant, I could see that happening.
well, I think it was because the glasses are less dirty
Oh, he's easing in.
than
He's tempering his disdain for dishwashing.
because then the water is not as dirty because
Oh, I got that thing running full blast. My hands, when I wash dishes, it is scalding hot. It is no cold water running. It is 100% hot, full blast. My hands are radiating. When I take the glass and I put it to the drying rack, it's steaming.
dang.
All my dishes are steaming.
So this will be a debate amongst the world. Do you put bleach in your dishwater?
I don't.
You don't.
But I'm not like, what are you doing? I definitely see but I don't. I'm
Dr.
old.
Marlin, do you put bleach in your dishwater?
I do not.
You do not.
I feel like I'm poisoning myself when I do that.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm assuming you do.
Well, growing up, I don't remember doing it, but I think it was something that my wife's family did, so we do it.
Yeah.
All right, now this is another one. Now, I just found this one out a couple weeks ago. Do you wash your meat when you cook meat?
I do not wash my meat, but I know that I'm white, and that's a very white thing to say.
Marlon, do y'all
Nobody
wash
in my family is washing their meat.
You're not supposed to wash your meat because you're just getting germs everywhere.
There's that school of thought, and I definitely there's a school of thought where if you wash it, you're disinfecting it and all that. But if you do it and you're not cleaning your sink and you're not like being like you're gonna spread that salmonella everywhere. Although there's the two extreme thoughts, right? But there's this like middle thought where it lingers in my head. Why not just give it like a nice little wash just to get the hand germs off? Like I'm saying, you're not going to like get inside the chicken and like wash off the salmonella. But think about like people and how they like go to the bathroom and don't wash their hands.
Yeah.
And now they're just like, people wear gloves. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think it's a bad idea to just give it a little rinse. But I know some people are like taking lemons in the cavities and they're covering the whole thing in salt and it's a whole
That's
thing.
a bad idea. And according to the USDA, you should not wash raw meat or poultry before cooking because it can increase risk of cross-contamination and foodborne illnesses.
So there's that, but there's also like who's trusting the government on everything. You know what I mean? Maybe they don't
trust
want
them
us.
So the black community as a whole, as far as I know,
It's team wash that chicken.
We're washing that chicken before we cook it.
100%.
And so you saying the USDA is saying that you shouldn't wash your chicken or meat per se.
Yeah, man, think about it. You're washing the chicken. You got stuff splashing all over the place, all over your sink. And no, I'm not. I'm gonna let the heat in the oven or wherever do the job and kill all the germs for me.
So if you're on the grill or you're about to cook some food and you drop a piece of chicken on the floor,
You throw it away.
are you gonna rinse it off and cook it, or are you gonna throw it away, or are you just gonna cook it?
Just going straight in the trash.
Wow.
Yeah. Nowadays,
Wow.
I'd be afraid. Like double contamination. It's already here.
But that's such a first world problem, though, right? I mean, people would be dying to eat that chicken, yet
That's what I'm saying.
I'm about to throw it away.
Like to me, it's like, but then again, I think of the wild animals out there, and I try to leave
Here
it in
we
a place
go.
where it gets picked up. But then I'm like, oh, is that cannibalism? You know what I mean? If I'm feeding another bird a bird, like who am I? Like it's this weird cycle that goes on in my head. I'm like, where are you?
Catherine, birds eat birds. Just so you know.
I know, but
Yeah.
should I be encouraging the cannibalism?
That's what they do, though. That's
But
nature.
not at my hand. I know.
You don't want a part of it.
No.
See, Every episode, apparently, Catherine has to express her love for the animal community. And here at Laugh Through Podcast, we support her. All right? Yes.
Anyway, Ron's got an extermination company, and what I love about us is like we're so opposite.
We are
on so many things.
So many things.
It's so great because it's like sometimes you're like, what side are you gonna take? And it's like naturally, we're just on the opposite sides of it.
And we still get along though.
Really well.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We still get along.
So be nice to people. That's how you like learn more about yourself, is when you're always like, I don't know, meeting new people. That's why I like comedy, because you're traveling and you get to meet new comics and new venues and new staff. It's fun. They become family.
It is. And see, comedy is it's an experience. People think that, it's so super fun. It's fun. I'll give you that, but there's so many layers to it. Like when you go on the road, and say we on the road together and we just met, we have to hang with each other that whole weekend.
Yeah.
And what makes the difference between a great weekend and a good weekend? If that person was a good hang.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a whole. So what's funny is you and I did the Tropicana, the comedy at the Trop.
We did.
Up in Atlantic City.
We did.
Ron did it one week, and then the following week, then it was my turn, which was funny because we ended up taking the same airplane, because there was only like one little flight going to Atlantic City. And then when you go to that venue, they had like 3 like studio apartments, one for each comic.
Yep.
And out of the 3, Ron and I got the same room.
Same apartment.
And so, same little apartment.
Not the same room together.
No,
2 different
2
weeks.
separate weeks.
All right.
But the chances that the reason how we discussed this is because there was a stopped up bath situation, and he goes, "Hey, this is the conversation that the comics have." He's like, "Hey, Kath, in that bath, you're gonna be up to your knees in bath water. You got to let them know." So as soon as I get there, I'm like, "Hey, I think there's like an issue with the bathtub." The next night, I have a picture of it. It's up on my Facebook. The next night I go in, there's a bottle of Drano with a pink Post-it note with directions. Catherine, please put this down the bathroom tub or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh. But I bring up that week because Mike Burton from New York was my buddy that whole week. And we were staying in Atlantic City. We're staying in this, like, it feels like the Shining hotel, like really long, scary hallways. Like you just picture like the 2 twins at the end, like, come play with us. You can live here forever. Do as many guest sets as you want. That's what it felt like. Yep. And he drove up from Manhattan. I flew in from Tampa. So he's like, hey, I got my car. We'll go to the grocery store if you want to get like supplies because you're there all week. And I was like, I'm doing the math. I'm like, I don't want to buy a whole 18 pack because I'm not a big drinker, but you want to have something. So I go, hey, you want to go like half skis on this 18 pack? He's like, Catherine, we're here for 7 days. No. Buy your own 18 pack. So I was like, fine, but you're going to have to take the rest that's left over because there's no way. He's like, okay, fine. But we hung out. We went up to like the little bar up the block. We shot pool. We were drinking 40s because you can't drink 40s in Florida. They're outlawed. Did you know that, Marlon?
I had no idea. No.
The highest amount of ounces that you can get in an alcoholic beverage is 32. Like we're babies. Wow. Like meth's not enough. They won't give us a 40. So we drank 40s and watched the Knicks play, and then we were playing pool. I had so much fun, and we still to this day. I'm like that. I felt like it was like summer camp, where you get to go hang out with somebody and just like.
He's a good dude.
He's so much fun.
He really is. Shout
out to Mike Burton.
I got to work with Mike on. We did the Carnival cruise together. Good dude. We talked about you too.
Of course.
Good things.
Because when people say, oh, you were in Tampa, 9 times out of 10, they'll go, do you know Ron Horman or do you know Catherine Maloney?
Yep.
And then they're like, I do. And then they're like, oh, I'm really close with that person. Oh, yeah. And then the next thing you know, you're like, oh, they have a podcast together. I guess they do hang out.
That's crazy, ain't it?
But it's awesome.
So I think this is going to be a reoccurring thing. Give me...
Oh, boy.
A horror story from your comedy career. Give me one.
Okay.
Just one.
I will tell a tale that most people would say that's a horror story.
Okay.
I think that's fair, right? Because
Yeah,
we're going to
yeah.
have so many different experiences. This one jumps out. So, Marlon, when you're first starting out, like you got to take what you could get. You know what I mean, right? Like you kind of like take gigs and you convince yourself that you're challenging yourself. You're giving yourself this opportunity to grow as a performer and take chances. So there's this little like Italian restaurant, and the lady is booking out a surprise 50th birthday, and she tells me, "Hey, I told them about you, and they want you to do stand up." And I was like, "Oh. Lucky me. That's awesome." She goes, "Yeah, but this is the thing. It's a surprise 50th, and we want you to roast him." And I'm like, okay, challenge accepted. So I was like, email me everything you have on this guy. I'm talking like all the inside jokes, all the nicknames, all the stuff that he does not want to talk about on his 50th. Like everything. Give it to me all. And then it's like a week before, and she hits me up. She's like, "Hey, we're so excited. We hope you're ready. Like, this is going to be great." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, awesome." She goes, "Oh, and by the way, we're shorthanded. So do you want to like serve for $40? I said, "Yeah."
Look at Catherine double dipping.
So it's in this like little Florida, like, clubhouse. So I get there, with the staff. I set everything up. I'm not like wearing anything but like, like almost like server clothes or whatever. I got my little waitress outfit on. And then I'm serving everybody, setting up, serving everybody dinner and everything. And then the lady comes over and she goes, "We're ready. Everybody's got their plate. We're ready for you." I walk out in front of these people. There is no stage. There's no microphone. There's no lighting. There's nothing. There's nothing elevated at all about this experience. I just take the apron off and walk in front of this guy who has no idea this is about to happen. And then I make fun of him for 45 minutes, him and his kids and his mother and everybody else that was in that room. And they all laughed, which I was like, I cannot believe I get away with this kind of stuff. And then after 45 minutes, I walked back over, put my apron on, and started sweeping. That was $190.
She gets the job done, baby. Oh,
Yeah.
that was good.
And the lady that hired me, I shouldn't say lady, it sounds so mean, but anyway, her name is Kim, and like she was the secretary at my daughter's elementary school, and she was the secretary to like the guidance counselor. So I saw her every single day after that for like 4 years.
Wow.
And I just saw her recently. She took a picture with me and Kayla for her graduation. So
Oh,
shout
that's
out
dope.
to Kim. Yeah, but yeah, can you imagine? Like you don't know it's a party. Now it's a roast. And then it's the waitress. You know what I mean? It's the server.
She was undercover. Parties, surprise comedy is normally never good. They don't know about it. It's normally ends bad. I just had that surprise. Well, it was a Soul Train themed party. It was a 65 something Soul Train theme?
Midday.
At like 2:00. They switched days. They gave me the wrong day, and then they called me. It's like, "Hey, you still doing the thing tomorrow?" I was like, "That's not the day they said." So I go, and when I tell you, it was horrible. It was horrible. The whole time I'm up, some guy is standing with a camera in my face. I'm like, "Bro, I'm not gonna do no jokes with you standing here with the camera in my face." So I just literally talked to these people for 40 minutes, and I went home and I contemplated quitting comedy again. And that night
Again.
again, often. But that night I had a show we did that show, me, you, and Nathan.
Oh, and it was great
And
at
it was
the Elks Lodge.
It was amazing.
And that was a stressful day
Yeah.
because Catherine double booked herself. Because sometimes I do that. And for those of you who are like, "Catherine, what do you mean by double book?" It means I didn't look at my calendar and I took 2 of the exact same shows on the exact same date within, 45 minutes of each other. And I made to both of them.
Yeah,
because I got to double dip sometimes.
She's a double dipper all the time.
Listen, if you paid me enough money for the night, I wouldn't have to look for other entertainment. And so, it's like I got a number I got to hit every day. And that's the thing that stunk about that one, because both of the gigs that I had for that one at the Elks Lodge, the money was almost identical. So that's what was the Sophie's choice for me. How do I, I can't cut the baby in half. You know what I mean?
Look at
Going
look
biblical. But I also
that's
know.
old school. That's Old Testament right there.
I'm always working it in. It's like I'm a minister or something. But anyway, I was able to make it work because you were patient with me. But do not do that as new comics. Do not think that you're gonna get that little cushion. It was rough. I was moving people. I was literally like, when are we starting the show? Because I gotta be out of this building at 8:15. I did recon work. I had my car waiting on the side, and I killed it too.
She was trying to. Okay, can we start now? Like, dude, just calm down. Don't worry about it. You good? Just
Yeah, you'll get out of here when you get out of
you
here.
just go when you gotta go.
Yeah, but it's you don't want to disappoint anybody on a show. And Nathan, every time I see him now, he's like, that show. He's like, I've seen you before, but there was something. He knew all the pressure I was underneath. I was talking to people that had come out to see me, like they were so excited they hadn't seen me in a while, like personal friends. They just thought, oh, I'll buy tickets and go see her at this. I had to tell them, listen, I am super stressed. Like I'm like behind the 8 ball. Like, you know what I mean? There's no way I'm gonna get ahead of this. Like I'm gonna scratch on this one. And I didn't. And then you do all that and you finally get to the show, and then that show is running late. And you're like, son of a gun.
You gotta relax.
You gotta. Like the guy shuffling, we talked in the last episode about the guy shuffling to the gate when you were flying back.
Yep.
And you're waiting on him. Meanwhile, you're...
Gotta relax. Gotta relax.
I think if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
That's it. That's it. I want to tell, it's a horror story.
Okay.
But so you saying you got to take everything. So when I first started, you're trying to figure out what type of comedy you do, what your style is. You're figuring it out. So we had these Def Jam auditions. So Def Comedy Jam is a big thing in the urban comedy scene. So if you get on Def Comedy Jam, you did something big.
Side note, I thought that was going to be my first TV credit. And I'm not saying that it's not going to be, because I don't really have an official one, but I love Def Comedy Jam.
Of course. We all loved it.
Yeah.
So I met a guy that the auditions were invitation only. And so he was like, hey, man, I can get you on the audition. I'm like, great. Let's do it. And so then he called me back. Hey, I can get you on, but it's going to cost $300.
Oh, come on.
And I was like, and I'm going to get to be on in front of the people see a Def Jam?
You're like, that seems like a deal.
That seems like I can do it.
You're like,
Yeah.
cash? I can give you cash?
Yes.
Because I don't want to have to write a check.
So Ron,
No.
yeah. I was just starting, and I thought that was the way for me. They can see me, and then bam, I'll be on Def Comedy Jam. Then I can start doing comedy.
You thought paying your dues was literally paying your dues.
$300
I
cash
once
money.
paid someone $500 to teach me how to bartend. You know what I mean? So like, I also like to throw money away.
It was horrible. Mm-hmm. So
When did you realize?
well, I did the audition, and I didn't do bad. I didn't do bad, but then I realized that he's right here with me. He's not. See, in comedy, when you first start, you look at people and you think they way bigger than they are because they tell you I've done all these things and all that, and a couple people know him, so you believe that. But he was right there with me. We were on the same level. He got me for $300.
Is he still doing comedy?
He is.
Wow.
I want to say his name,
Don't.
but I'm not.
We're not.
Because you know what? I got it back from him in other ways.
There you go.
But that leads me to this. How, like, young me was infuriated. Like, almost wanted to get, go there with it.
Yeah.
But now I figure out different ways to handle adversity or confrontation. How do you handle confrontation?
Oh, come on. You know how I do.
I do. So I'm
You
not
know
just-
how I do.
They don't know though.
I got gas and matches in both hands. I'll burn this whole thing to the ground. It's the Irish temper in me. It is. And this is the thing. It's a short fuse under the right circumstances. Because I'll take stuff for a long period of time. I've been in long relationships, and I've been at jobs I should have left. But as soon as I realize, like, oh, you think you could play me for real, like to my face for real, then yeah, I get the gas and matches. But I would say your situation reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie. It's a 90s movie. It's called A Bronx Tale, and it's Robert De Niro.
Yes. Yeah,
and there's the scene where the son, Colangelo, keeps seeing the guy he lent $20 to. And he's chasing after him. He's screaming through the streets, "Give me my $20! You owe me $20!" And Sonny, the boss, he's like, "What are you doing? Why are you screaming like this? Like, you look like an idiot. You know what I mean? You're out in the streets yelling like a fool over $20."
Right.
And he goes, "Well, he got $20 for me, and I want my $20 back." He goes, "You like the guy?" He goes, "No, I can't stand him." He goes, "Every time you see him, he wants something from me." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You just got rid of that guy for $20.
Yep.
He will never talk to you ever again over $20. So take it as a gift." So like when you say it's like, how would you handle it now? That's, you're handling it exactly that way. Karma will work it out. You will get your $300 back and then some. And he will lose way more than $300 because you can't do people dirty and succeed for long. It's not sustainable.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's a short. He probably thought in a million years you weren't going to be as good and go as far. Now he probably sees you as like, I got $300 from him. Like, I can never go to that guy. I can never ask to be on a show. I can never ask for a referral.
Right.
He ruined himself right out the gate.
Yep.
Shame.
Crazy. So, I've always been a diplomatic person.
I think that's fair. Again, this is where we differ.
Well, people that know me, I'm very diplomatic. Now, once I get to that point, it's a bad explosion, but it takes a lot to get there. So now in my older age, I just don't have time for any of the like. If I disagree with somebody, I'm not trying to change your mind. You're not going to change my mind. So I'll just leave you alone and keep it moving because I'm on a mission to do something. And
you're not distracting me with your stuff.
And I made it this far without you. And that's how I look at it. So I try to teach my sons because when you're young, and especially a young man, you taught don't back down from nobody. And if somebody come at you like that, you can't show them that you weak. And those are prison rules. Those are the rules in prison.
True.
But if you out here, it's okay to avoid a collision. If you got a brand new car and somebody riding towards you with their car, because you got insurance don't mean you're going to run into that car. You're going to try to avoid it so nobody hits your car.
Yeah.
That don't make you soft. It don't make you weak because you're avoiding the confrontation. And that's what I try to teach my boys. And
smart.
That's how I try to live in life. I try to avoid it. And people can take it however they want to take it because at the end of the day, you're responsible for you. And ain't nobody going to take care of you like you're going to take care of you.
It's true. And I feel like we have a level of peace. And when you let somebody rock your boat, it's like they're taking a cup of your peace away for the day.
Yes.
Because you're never going to be like
Yes.
at that level again because you're so agitated.
Yes.
So if you could just like avoid that whole thing, then you have more of that to get you through the other little bumps through the day.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree.
Like,
I wish I try to tell myself these things. Believe me.
call me. I'll tell you.
I know you do. You always
Call
talk me down. You're my talk me down.
Call me.
I'm on the ledge and Ron's like, listen, you got a gig tomorrow. You can't jump. It's going to be good. No, I'm just kidding. No, you have to have people like that in your life.
Yeah.
Because sometimes our environments are like prison. And that's why we do stick to those rules and it could be, your family life could be great, but you don't know what it's like when you step out that door.
Right.
You don't know the kind of friends that they're hanging out with. Sometimes, even work, you get really negative people at work. You get customers coming in. Kayla, she dealt with that like for a brief period of time where it was just like people were just like yelling at her, and she realized, she was like, it had nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with what was going on. It was all this angst. There was all this like hostility coming with it.
Yep.
And it's like, she's one thing I would say, she is way more at peace than I am. So that fire that I have, she doesn't have that like short fuse. So she's more like you in terms of like the fuse is long. Like if you finally get there, she'll just be done with you, but she doesn't make a big deal about it.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. And that's one thing I'm learning as a man. You got to learn to control your emotions, because your emotions will get you to that point, and then once you calm down, you're like, man, it really wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you could be upset, and I'm never like, when somebody gets upset, and I try to tell them, listen, your feelings are valid. I get that. I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm just telling you that there's a better way to approach it. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, if you go smash this person upside the head, it's going to cost you a lot more, because most of the people that act all super tough ain't really that super tough. They going to go tell the proper authorities, and you're going to be paying for tickets and lawyers.
Court
and
appearances.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. Because in New York, growing up, if you had a problem with someone, you could beat each other half to death and still go home for dinner.
Yeah.
Nobody went to jail. Nobody barely went to the hospital. There was no record of it except for everybody that was there when you got your butt kicked. But here in Florida, if you call the cops, if it's anything domestic, by law, they have to take somebody in.
Somebody going.
Yeah. So if your temper is flaring and you think I'm in the right and this, that, and the other thing, you're rolling the dice that you're not the one. Because you could be all up like this, and the other person, like you said, it can keep their peace and keep their cool. And when they come, you're the one that looks like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. So
you got a 50% chance.
Or you could just like relax and like grab your favorite snack, listen to the newest episode of the Laughter Podcast, and just like relax. That's what I'm going to do. I am the one that gets amped up. The other morning you called me, and it was right after I got a bad phone call about my car, and
it wasn't even.
I blacked out.
It wasn't even hello. It was.
I went straight in.
Hey, and wham.
Boom.
I was like, she's having a moment. I'm gonna have to.
Because you were the first call after the bad news, and I was just like so frustrated. And then flash forward an hour and maybe an hour and a half later, and I'm like, man, I'm sorry I blew up like that. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, because I have a big heart, but I got a really bad temper. And when you're like, when you grow up in an environment, back to environment, when you grow up in an environment where your mom's like, your voice is so annoying, that's why dogs bite you. You don't have, like, you're thin skinned to the point where it's like anything. It's like tissue paper. You know what I mean?
You know, that's so funny to me because
I get complimented on my voice all the time. People are like, you should do radio.
I was going to say, I love your voice. From the very first episode that we filmed, I was like, I'm kind of digging her voice. And the accent. Accent's killing it.
When I get really comfortable, that's when it comes
yeah.
out. When I was talking about a Bronx sound, I'm like, $20? Or if I say daughter.
Yeah.
Daughter is the big one. Because it'll come out of nowhere. Like if someone goes, oh, say, water or whatever. Like it'll be this other version. But if I'm just in a conversation, I'm like, yeah, my daughter. And people are like, daughter. Like that's the big one. Do you have one with Milwaukee? Like if you say a certain word?
No, I just, I'm just me.
But is there a word that you say that like people can tell right away that you're from Milwaukee?
Not that I know of.
Nothing?
No. People, they don't.
What about like slang? Like do you say pop or sucker?
No, I say soda.
Okay.
And you know what I say a lot?
I'm surprised. Like it's not.
Say,
New Yorkers are such jerks.
I say y'all, and people always wonder where I get that from. I don't know. That's what we say.
You mean back home used to say y'all?
I guess.
Or just in general.
It's just part of my dialect.
Yeah. See, in New York we say use. So we say
use guys.
Yeah. When we first moved down here, I was dating my high school, my college boyfriend, and we were opening the door, and he's like, "No, you go first." And that was the first time that somebody like in the area was like, "Use, like it's my cousin Vinny," you know, like they were so excited.
I love yous.
Yeah,
All yous guys.
yeah, that was good. That's a good Italian accent. I like that, New York Italian.
I met a dude down here, and you remember him?
Who?
Use guys. You don't remember use guys?
No. From the store?
Yes. Wise use guys.
Why use guys delete all my pictures?
Yeah, why use guys? Yeah, he got very graphic though.
Yeah.
He was upset about his bill, and he came in and he expressed that with this was a famous phrase. He became use guys. Wise use guys. Bend me over the counter.
Now I remember.
You remember? See?
Now I remember.
Show me. Oh my gosh.
And he became use guys that day.
As soon as he came in, everyone's like, it's use guys, it's use guys.
Yep.
It would go through the store.
We had so many different characters. So when the sitcom finally comes out, you'll know who we're talking about. So many characters.
So many.
So many characters. So many. I was about to say something and I forgot what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. You're so on stage when you see this lady, and go to a show, please. She's hilarious. My friends are very funny. My friends are funnier than your friends. But so when she's on stage, she like, look at Catherine. Look at her right now.
Hi.
When you look at her, you wouldn't think that inside of her is like DMX.
Because Kat's going to give it to you.
That's how she acts. She's so... Man, I see her say some things to people, and I'm like, oh,
I can't
my
believe the
God.
things that I say to people. It is shocking what I say to people, and
gonna
I'm
have to
not
fight
me.
when we leave here, because she is... But then... She's so sensitive. She really is.
I'm a delicate flower.
I'm so...
And I will not be trampled.
I'm confused. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what's crazy. Like,
it's a duality
that's
of who
what it
we
is?
are. Yeah. I mean, you're a sex symbol, but you're
I
an
am.
everyday
I
guy that's so relatable. You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
right.
So we can have both worlds.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. You know what I mean?
It is shocking though, because people are like, you talk like this, and I say some stuff
She
that
does.
I can't believe how effective it is.
She says some stuff that we had to have a conversation. Like, Catherine, please, on the podcast, let's not say the things that you said to that person, because we don't,
yeah, we don't want to bring that bad blood into it. But you can listen to my podcast, and I talk about everything on there. No, but I would say the one thing that bit me, one thing that I was like, oh, this is going to be on the sitcom, is it was during COVID. I had done a Beef O'Brady's down in Parrish. Don't be jealous. And
Beefo
at 4:00 in the afternoon, because that's when they like their comedy.
ballin'.
And I know I'm so braggalicious right now. But anyway, and I'd always like to do crowd work. So I don't know where it's going to take me, because, I haven't like pre-screened the audience. So I'm just like, hey, this, that, and the other thing. Anyway, there's like two couples in the front, and the one lady, she looked very grumpy. And I talked to her for a second, and then she got up to go to the bathroom. And when she left, I was like, I look at the table and I go, oh, who's with who? And they said, the guy goes, oh, that was my wife that went to the bathroom. And the other lady goes, this is my husband. And joking, totally joking, not meaning any of this, I went, I would have thought you were with her and he was with her. Just passing. And then I joke about some other stuff. Flash forward, it's like not even 2 months later, and the booker reaches out to me and he goes, hey, it's COVID, so we're running out of ideas to get shows going. I have something for you if you're interested. It's a backyard wedding, bonfire, barbecue. There's a lot of extra things. I mean, it was like not just one thing. It was like
a
it was like
bonfire.
Yeah, and there was like animals there. And
You was totally for that.
And it's a comedy
Was it
thing.
Animals? Oh,
Totally.
yeah, she was there.
I was like, I could pet him. So So I get there and it's outside and it's exactly what you think it is. You know what I mean? So whatever's going around in your head, your imagination, that's probably it. And then
So
I
where
see the
was the
booker
pickup truck?
right there.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like several,
Okay.
and then a lot of chicken wire. There was ducks, roosters, chickens, I think a donkey. There was a lot of stuff going on. And of course there was a fire pit. And they were barbecuing and people were dressed up and I'm like, what? And so the booker goes, hey, by the way, this is that couple. I had broken up 2 marriages
Wow.
in a matter of months. And now the 2 of them are like, getting married, getting hitched or whatever.
Wait, they married each other?
Yeah. So the one that went to the bathroom, her husband married the other woman from the other couple.
What?
Yeah. In a matter of months.
And they were all still friends?
I don't think so. And then I'm thinking I'm going to be on the Dateline episode because I'm like, these people are going to, I've seen true crime episodes with less motive to take out the comic.
Dang.
So now I'm glad I have it on this record too, just in case anything ever happens. But that could have been so bad. And I have pictures of me like learning it. Like somebody was snapping pictures while they were telling me and you could see how.
And they invited you to.
Because I'm the one that was like, I was the last, they must have, had these feelings. Obviously, I wasn't the one that,
Are you sure
shot
you
the
weren't
Cupid's
doing-
arrow.
I don't know.
You think I'm Cupid?
Hey,
Shoot myself.
I don't know. That's weird. Wow.
Yeah,
They laughing through some stuff now. I'll tell you that.
I hope so.
Jeez.
I know.
So
Imagine this is like the best thing though. Imagine they were meant to be. Like, I don't know. I'm hoping. I mean, I'm rooting for the best. So I try not to give marital advice, especially to random strangers. Like that was like going to like a tarot reading or something. You know what I mean? Like it was completely out of nowhere.
Wow.
Yeah. Have you ever had anything that you've said in a show bite you?
Well, I've never got a whole family divorced.
2
And,
families.
I've
Get
never,
it right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my rankings.
I've never done that.
I should be sponsored by like divorce attorneys.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you that.
Give me a
that's
cut.
pretty big. I've had shows where I've got people upset, but I've never had divorce
No?
because no. I've had people try to explain to me why a joke was offensive to them, and
Nobody
I
does
said-
that to me.
I said, you know what, I'm not trying to change your mind. You're not gonna change mine, so it doesn't matter. Just keep it going. You didn't like it, but they really wanted to explain to me, and I said, hey, I don't care. Keep it moving.
Like you said, they're not going to change your mind
Yeah.
and you're not going to change their mind. So just keep it moving. People don't come over to me and complain about, I don't think if you've seen my show, you're not going to be like, I have a note on that to me after a show because I don't seem very nice on stage. You seem very personable
thank
and
you.
approachable. I
think I
don't
am.
think I do. People like me. They're like women now are like, I want to be friends with you. Like, because I'm speaking like their dialect, it's,
You like their shiro.
I wouldn't say that, but you can.
You know me.
You are, the sex symbol. Everything
Yeah.
you say.
Well, see, I try to keep it relatable, and so the average person can be in, the level of a sex symbol. Like, it's not as glamorous as you think it is. I got to look good
All the time.
All the time. Like all the time, I got to
Like
look
you
good.
have an off day and people are going to talk about it.
Right. So you get it.
Oh, I get
You
it.
get it. You get it. So I try to stay on top of that, but I want to know that I'm still a common man. I'm not above you. I just a lot sexier.
Because it is difficult being attractive and funny.
It is tough. It is tough.
I mean,
It is tough.
it's like you don't want to alienate people. You get in there, you want to seem like you can talk to me after the show if you want to.
You get me.
I do.
You get me. See, when somebody finally catches on, it's like liberating. Like
It's like a relief.
because I thought it was me.
Yeah.
Like but yeah.
People don't get it. I do.
I think I should start getting all my headshots with hearts on them, like back-
pre-hardum.
Yeah, like back in the day, and I think I'm gonna bring back the button. They're not doing buttons. I should bring back the button.
You know, I think that's a great idea. Like people like that kind of stuff. They do. They like buttons and stuff. I went to the Tammy from the trailer park. Tammy Trailer Park. I forget it. She does like stand up, but she does a ton of other entertainment stuff. I have never seen somebody do merch like her.
She got a button?
Buttons. She had the trucker hats, I call them, you know?
Yeah.
And she had like sleeves of them, and her opener were literally up in the green room just with the Sharpie just going down the row.
Okay.
She had everything set up like it was a concert. It was the most amazing. I was so impressed on so many levels. Like I was like, this woman's probably making like $500,000 a year on merch alone.
Wow. So what we're gonna put a picture of my face on it, and then a little picture of you next to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you can have like, remember the big buttons?
Yeah.
Like the big Mamma Jammas? Like I'll just get the little guy. You know what I mean? Like the quarter size one. You could get the big one.
Okay.
You know?
Well, put yours on the bottom of something. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I won't leave you out.
Oh, just
like
off to the side.
Like New Edition and Bobby Brown buttons on. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you are the Beyonce of this Destiny's Child. You know what I mean? Like I get that.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that. I mean, style,
Grace.
charisma.
Your humor is on point. It's like you get the inside jokes.
Wow. See, you know what? This is the best episode yet.
It really is.
The truth comes out. When the truth comes out, we're all set free.
I was going to say it feels freeing. That was my word.
See? See?
I get it.
I'm living in there, Catherine.
It's like a parasite. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
No, listen. When we were talking about, whether or not you get confrontational and like you cross lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what always pops in my head?
What?
Is the Chappelle show, Keeping It Real.
When keeping it real goes wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chappelle's funny.
I mean, that was like,
Yeah.
because she just keeps going up and up, and the friend's like, yeah. And then it's the friend the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like, be careful who's hyping you up when you're making bad choices.
That's right.
Your real friends will pull you back. Like, you pull me back, you're like, listen, you cannot flip out like this.
At the end of the day, you got to look at it like this. Like, seriously. You have a lot more to lose than you realize at that moment.
That is more than fair.
And if you got to think about it like that. Because, look, I can't do this by myself.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, I could.
But
it wouldn't be as good.
yeah, I mean, you can't have all beauty and no brains.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you got to have a little bit of yin and yang. I gave you the beauty. You're not going to give me brains? I got nothing? Marlon, I got nothing over here. He wants beauty and brains. You know
He
what I
wants
mean?
it all. He wants
like,
his cake and to eat it too.
Yeah, it's the Ron show.
But she just, like, called me a hot, dumb chick. That's what she just did.
Hot dumb chicks never have to pay for anything
Then why am I broke?
because you're not a chick,
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, that's the only thing in that equation, you know?
Well, I like to think I'm kind of smart. Well, I mean, I did pay $300 for an audition to somebody that didn't have anything to. And he probably gonna see this too, and he know that I know, and I. It was so embarrassing once I figured it out.
I will just say this, you know me, crossing cows, saving ants, doing the thing.
Right.
There's another thing when like you lose something, whether it's like $20 or like you drop a piece of sandwich and you're like, I really wanted that. My mom used to always say, if you lose something or you drop it, it's because somebody else really needed it. And it's like your way of like, I don't know, like paying it forward into the system or whatever. So all I could say is it wasn't cool. And that's clear. But I'm hoping that the 300 went towards something like maybe the car needed something, or maybe like the light bill was about to get shut down, like something. Like I hope it was for something, you know, like stealing a loaf of bread to feed your family.
I'm sure it was. When
I hope it wasn't so you could go on a date and, you know. get lucky. Like I hope it's not that, because that to me that's not feeding your family bread.
Yeah, I just think it was a learning experience for me, because I can't tell you how many times I see, even today, I see people who pay, like people I know that are trying to be rappers and all that, they pay to be on a show to open up for some people. And I'm like, it don't work that way. You ain't got to do that.
Yeah.
You ain't got to do that.
Yeah, don't fall for it.
Don't fall for it.
Well, thank you so much. This was awesome. What a wonderful conversation.
Hey, it's always a pleasure. Here at Laugh Through Podcast, we know life happens. You got to keep laughing through it. That's it. I'm your host, Ron Horman, co-host, Catherine Maloney. We got Marlon Gordon on the ones and twos. Make sure you check us out on social media at Laugh Through Podcast. And
wherever you're streaming your favorite podcast, check us out. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And, message us. Let us know if there's something that you want us to talk about. Have you met us in real life?
Come to a show. Go to the website, roundhorman.com. You can see where the show is coming up. And Catherine is at Maloney Comedy on Instagram. We love y'all. No matter what, keep smiling.